Today I'm hosting number one from Danbury, Connecticut, David Mollenthiel. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm pretty good. To see you, you're a true legend. With the three championships, CACC championships. So it's always good to have you here.
Appreciate it.
Um, so let's start with a really maybe it sound weird, but when you have started to play soccer, and even more important, for me, it's more like interesting why you started with soccer because it's not a really popular sport in the states. So
Yeah, no, definitely, definitely wasn't the biggest sport in the States. I remember growing up, I went to a small Catholic school, probably 30 kids in my class, and I was the only soccer player out of all 30 of them.
yeah,
And I had that group from when I was 5 years old till I went into high school. So I really wasn't surrounded by any like other soccer players growing up. So the only like person pushing me towards it was my dad. Really, he played his whole life. When my brother and sister they started playing, so I was on the pitch when I was like 2, 3 years old. Just
really.
like the second I could stand, my dad was throwing me on the team with my older brother.
So your dad push you to this like sports?
100%.
Yeah,
It was definitely awesome. But I found my passion with it right away.
yeah.
I got it wrong. Yeah.
And during your like earlier career before college is the ones that supported you went to your games.
So actually, from when I started playing soccer at age 3, 4 years old until about 8 years old, he was my coach.
Mm-hmm.
He did our local like in-house team, then travel team when we were getting a little bit older, and then when I was 9, I got recruited to go to this like larger team
Mm-hmm.
because there's not many goalkeepers. So
Yeah. Can
got
you
like
tell
that.
me? Can you tell me how it's like having your father as a coach?
It was interesting. He's like your biggest supporter, but largest critic as well.
Mm.
I remember every year we used to have an award that he'd give out for like the best player on the team each
Okay.
year, and I don't want to talk bad about anyone on my team when I was 8, but yeah.
No, no, because I think.
And every year, he was finding like just some other kid to give it to. He was always making me like work twice as hard
Yeah.
for it.
No, because I played with some friends, and that their father was their coach, and it wasn't so easy, Like it wasn't so easy because after the practice, you coming back with your father to your house, and you're still talking about the game or about the practice, and like I think there are good stuff about it, positive, and some negatives, right?
A lot of long car rides home. A lot of long car rides home from like New Jersey, 3, 4 hours just in the car. And it's either the first 10 minutes we're talking. Then he brings up like, but this one play. And I was like, no, I couldn't have stopped this goal.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
difference of opinion.
it's really interesting. And so you moved on and you started to play in high school. Something interesting in high school career.
So yeah, when I was going into high school, I was playing on this team my 8th grade year, so the year before I went into high school.
Yeah.
And we went and played in Italy in a tournament, so we trained for like half a year. And it was like with the U.S. Development Program.
Okay.
And after coming back from that, I was scouted to a prep school, this all-boys prep school called South Kent,
Mhm.
one of the best prep schools in the country for soccer.
Yeah.
But I was recruited pretty much right before my freshman year started. So my freshman year, I started at my local public school, and I started on my JV team, which is like the team below the varsity team, because we had a senior
Mhm.
who was pretty good. But so the second year, I still wasn't going to be this varsity starter, so I decided to make the move and go over to South Kent, and that was a iffy experience for me. I learned so much going there. I learned so much, and I evolved as a keeper, honestly.
Mhm.
Like, it brought me to the next level. However, I also played like a quarter of a game the entire season.
Yeah. But what stuff you learned in this high school?
I completely ignored my feet when I was growing up, so I learned how to play soccer with my feet truly for the first time. Like, my distribution became like the top point of every single practice. And then just my athletic ability of being able to get to higher balls since I wasn't a very large goalkeeper. You know, just bring me to that next level of being now an athlete, not just a somewhat like a talented goalkeeper.
Yeah, yeah. And then you moved to the college.
Yes.
Can you describe the process?
So after I left South Kent, so as I told you, I only played a little bit of one game like the entire semester. You know, our starting keeper, he is now the starting goalie for Louisville. Yeah, great player, D. Trey Bell. But so I decided to come back to my public school the year after so I could be a starting keeper because I knew my junior year was really important for recruiting with colleges. So I needed to get like as much playing time as possible. And I really couldn't risk that just to be on a good team to not get playing time. So, you know, I came back and we were the starting keeper that year. And we had honestly a very good team. And we ended up making it to the state semifinals. And we won that game. And the day before the finals, our team got disqualified, actually.
But why?
We got disqualified because one of our players was considered to be illegal because of his grades. It was something about he started playing when his grades were out online, but not when they were out on paper, which is technically incorrect. He had to wait till they're out on paper, which is a very idiotic rule. It's and a very small technicality to ruin a state championship over, but
so weird. Like in the States, these small details, you know, like in Europe and in Israel, we don't have this system, you know.
Yeah, I mean the U.S. system it's messed up. I'm not gonna lie. The whole pay to play, everything is. If you don't have money, it's tough to play in America. Honestly.
Yeah, for sure. And then. Did you got an offer from Post? How it was?
So,
did you send them the video?
Initially, I was looking at multiple D2 universities. I think the first one that I really looked at was Southern Connecticut. Yeah. And I was talking with them for a bit. I went to multiple like college ID cases, like Bloomfield I looked at as well. I had some D3 smaller local colleges. I went to University of Waterloo in Canada and trained with them and was offered a spot up there. But then I ended up settling on Post very randomly because my old captain from my high school season when I was a junior ended up coming here. And he talked to the coach and was like, hey, we have this goalkeeper from Danbury. He has no college team yet. It's quality. You should give him a look. I sent over my highlight tape and about 15 minutes later, I'm getting offered a spot by Coach Ryan on the squad. And then I was able to be fortunate to get a good academic scholarship. And that pretty much solidified the deal for me coming here.
So let's talk about the first year at Post.
Yes, sorry.
Because you played here 3 years and you won 3 championships. But I think every year was different, right?
Very different experiences.
Very different.
Each way.
So let's talk about your evolution. So from the first year until the third. So let's start with the first year.
So when I first came in as a freshman, it was a bit of a shell shock coming into this program. We had about 80% probably international students over the age of 23 years old. So it was just nothing I was used to ever seeing before. The shots were 10 times harder. You know, everything was much more physical and fast-paced than what I was used to having. I mean, every practice I'd have Sergio Diaz, one of the best players in the country, shooting on me. It's much different than when you have in high school. Yeah,
different intensity, different quality for sure, yeah.
So I made leaps and bounds my freshman year. However, playing-wise, I only played 1.5 games. And in those 2 games, I gave up 5 goals and we lost both. So not the greatest start to my college career. But luckily we had a absolutely quality team and a really good starting goalkeeper in Frederick. And we were able to get the championship that year. Yeah.
So for you individually,
it was a growing season, honestly. Yeah. It was getting to terms with everything. I was the youngest kid on the team. I just turned 18 years old. It was just different time.
I would like to play. You grew up here in the States, right? And to see all the international, and because at Post, I think like you said, it's like 80%. 80% you have 80% of international players, right?
Yeah, and I
Something
think
like
it's
this.
only grown since then. It might be
Yeah.
even more now.
So
Yeah.
most of the team they are internationals. How it was like to be in touch with them, to talk with them, because first of all, it's a different culture, language barriers. Tell me about this.
So that was another thing I struggled with a lot at the very beginning. One of the things that helped me a lot was one of our players, Andrea Baliotto. He was my roommate my freshman year,
Mm-hmm.
and he was one of the older guys, and he kind of took me under his wing with everything he did, and having him he was the starting center back on the team that year. So, whenever I was in goal, him and we had a good connection.
Yeah.
So he knew whatever I was saying. He knew exactly what I meant, and he knew where I was comfortable coming out with.
Yeah.
Especially at that time where I wasn't as comfortable coming out for certain things. So that was a big help, honestly.
Yeah. No.
The adjustment.
No, because I'm thinking about it, like to see so many international, even for me, and I traveled a lot, before I came to the States. I saw all the cultures and everything, but the moment that I came here, it was so different because you have so many players from Spain, so many players from Italy, so many players from, like different places like Sweden, England, and everybody are different, So
It was overwhelming. That's what it is. It's
Yeah.
very overwhelming and a little discouraging. I'm not gonna lie. You see all these international players, and it's intimidating. It's very intimidating.
Yeah.
You think they're very high level, and you start doubting yourself. Because you're the only American. No Americans, I don't think, played on the field that year. I think maybe Philly got a little bit of time, but outside of that,
Yeah.
no Americans really played.
So in this moment, what you told to yourself, like you see all these people, and you're, I think, one of the only Americans in the team. What you told to yourself,
So, coming out of preseason, Frederick had not shown up yet, and I was like the clear starter. I started all the preseason games, and I started to build a little bit of confidence going in, but then he showed up 2 days before the first game, and coach started him, so my confidence was like cut in half almost immediately. But the day after, I remember I called Coach Ryan, the assistant coach who brought me there, and I was like, hey, what do I need to do to start? And I asked him that after the next 6 or 7 games. What do I need to do to start? What do I need to do to start?
So you always, like, you were with the mentality of you want to play,
Yeah.
and just explain me why I'm not playing, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I wanted to know exactly what I needed to fix in order to play, because I see you guys out there on the field, and like it hurts honestly being on the bench.
For sure.
Definitely.
I think for every player to sit on the bench, it's maybe the hardest part, to see the people playing, and yes, like you're part of the team, and the coaches and everybody will tell you you're part of the team and we need you and be ready, but you're sitting in the bench, and sometimes you think I can help, I can do maybe better, and just for yourself, I want to play and win, and it's something I think as a bench player, and I think for you, most of your of the season you were on the bench, it's really hard. Like mentally, I think it's really hard. But so you won the championship, and then the second season. 2019.
2019 was a very, very different season. I got myself together physically in the off season, and when I came back, I had a bit of new competition as well, and our new goalkeeper Jordan Brown. So that was another hurdle in the way, and I think that year was a lot about getting over nerves and becoming confident on the field. Because I look back at a lot of games that year, and I was nervous. I wasn't like, I feel like I didn't have as much of a presence on the field.
And what helped you during this season? Because during this season you developed pretty well.
Yeah.
I think you conceded how many, like 9 or 8 goals, right? Or I don't remember, but
we were doing quite well. But we started off a little slow. We had the loss to Adelphi and SNH. We tied SNHU.
Yeah.
nothing fantastic. So, but really, those first few games were just to me getting over that like, okay, I'm like I'm the guy now. Like this is like I'm gonna be running the show, and then after that Adelphi game and those SNHU game, I realized like those are two of the like best teams we're playing all year. Yeah. And I held my own against them quite well.
Yeah.
So then we started playing some lower level teams, some in our conference and stuff, and the confidence just started picking up, and we kind of started just riding away from there.
Yeah.
That's really what it is, catching that momentum and riding it.
Yeah, I think we did a really nice run. I don't remember where it started, but we did a really nice run, and we won another championship. So for you, it was the second CACC championship, and how was the feeling? How was the feeling when you know that you were a really big part of that?
Yeah, no, it's completely different. I mean, I didn't know how to react after. I mean, I remember like in high school, like I never got a chance to like win a championship. I hadn't won a championship in so long, and my freshman year I won one, but I wasn't on the field. And then I finally, I got to this point that I didn't really even consider, like from freshman year not playing at all, and now I'm like the starter on a championship team. It was just the greatest like turnaround ever for me.
Yeah,
it was the greatest feeling, honestly.
And if you take one really, really, really good moment from this season, what will be this moment?
I think you already know what it is.
I know, and this is why I'm asking.
Yeah, so it has to be the round of 32 against the number 1 seed Adelphi. With about 3 or 4 minutes left in the game, kid comes down, chops up one of our defenders, crosses one in, heads it, and I just somehow flip around and throw some fingertips on it, and it was just an unbelievable moment, that game. That whole entire last 5 minutes where I don't think we got the ball out of our half being 1-0 up, but we all just defended like crazy, like throwing our bodies at everything, and it was unbelievable for me. Yeah. That was like the perfect team win. We just all were together.
Yeah. I think for me, it's your best game that I remember from you, because it's not just the saves. I think your energy in this game was different, like everybody were like in a different level of energy. I think we really wanted to win, and I think we were so together in this game, and it was...
I completely remember. Even in the bus ride back, everyone was singing. I was trying to sing. I had no voice left, because I just screamed for 90 straight minutes from the second that whistle kicked until the second it ended, and then maybe a couple extra minutes after with the celebrating.
Yeah, for sure. So this season end up in the Sweet 16, and we're starting the third season. What about it? I think the third season...
Bit of a gap in between there,
It's like a combination between your first year to your second, right?
Yeah, it was my entire journey so far wrapped into, like, I had to repeat. It's like starting from square one again, which it's scary, it's annoying,
Yeah.
So, over break, I broke my arm, and then on my first game back, I fractured my back. So for total, I was out for an entire calendar year, where I came back. My first day playing goalkeeper, diving like full on, was the day before preseason started. So I was extremely out of shape. First day of preseason, 6 a.m. in the morning on the field. I threw up in the locker room. Yeah, we came a long way from there.
Yeah, but you started this season not as the first keeper, right?
Not as the first or second, sadly. So we had another hurdle in the way, and our new goalkeeper, Soren. And then Jordan came back, extremely fit this year as well.
Yeah.
So there was definitely no short of competition on the goalkeeper front, and Coach let us knew that right away. Where he came in maybe the second game of preseason, he was like, you guys are all going to get an opportunity this season. It's really a question of who's going to take it and run with it. But it was a little bit clear that he had a bit of a favorite at the beginning. and understood why, because this kid has crazy, crazy, crazy good potential. Like, this kid's going to be amazing one day, for sure. And Soren, definitely, yeah.
No, so when you saw it, when you saw these two keepers, and you knew that they might be playing before you, but you are the keeper that already played last year and won one championship, but right now it's different. Like, you're not the first one. You have a different status. From the first one, you're coming back to the third one. Not even the second one, the third one.
Yeah.
I think it's it's a really hard moment, no?
Yeah, it was very difficult, especially because at the beginning, I accepted a little bit that I was going to need to work to get to the first string. But I considered myself the second string still, just because of my previous year. However, coach maybe did not see it the same way. And I found out about the third game of the season that I was the third string, and that's when it really hit me. Like, really, really hit me. Like, I cried that night. I remember I was calling my parents, and they were like, "Oh, well, I know this guy, he's very good with this. I know Jordan is very good with this." And I was like, "Mom, Dad, I think you're forgetting. I'm good too. Like, I'm going to get this." Like, I just had a feeling confident, and one of the big components of that was Sergio Diaz. He stayed with me over quarantine that year. He was with me during my injuries, and he just kept telling me, like, keep going. I know it's hard right now. I know how you're feeling. I know, like, you feel like we sort of, like, left you behind, but trust me, coach knows, and you're going to get your chance. It's going to come, and when you go, you just got to go. Like, you just got to go.
I think Sergio, like, everybody looks at him, and of course the talent, it's obviously you can see it, but I think his mentality is insane, and
it's next level, really.
Yeah, it's like he always in the killer mode, and I think it helped you a lot, right?
Every time he says that, he means it. Like,
yeah,
he really means it through and through. And
so you really get like some good
yeah, I mean, he'd see me down, after games, especially with the season we were having where we were losing games, and I still wasn't playing, and I felt in training, like, now that preseason was over, it was like maybe about 1 month in, I felt I was back to my prior self, more or less, and we're not doing well. This isn't working. So I was just like waiting and waiting and waiting. That
waiting for the chance.
Waiting killed me. That waiting killed me. Like, when you wait on the board and you're just staring at the board, waiting for Coach Lou to move a little bit so you see whether it's going to be an S, a J, or a D. And then you know.
And how was the feeling when you got the opportunity? Because I think it was the 6th or the 7th game of the season.
Yeah, we were 4-2-1. It was the 7th game of the season.
7th game of the season?
Yeah.
Against who?
Bloomfield.
And how was this moment, like, to see your name on the board and get the chance? Because, I feel you're this kind of person that when he gets the chance, he take it, Like, this is what I feel with you.
I'm not going to lie. At first, it was, like, a little bit like, okay, shit, it's here. Like, it's go time. Like it's now or never. So there's obviously that pressure at your back that it's now or never, And honestly, I believe I played actually quite a good game. Sadly, we still lost 2-1 because of some things we needed to figure out defensively still with our new team. I'll say that much. Some things we worked on in practice next day. And honestly, I only got my second chance because Soren got injured again in practice. So I got a lucky break, honestly. And it was against Wilmington, one of the best teams in the country at the time. And after that moment, I don't think we looked back, eh?
Exactly, yeah.
1-0 win there, and then
I think
moving.
I think from this moment, I think
it was 11-0 from there.
Yeah. From this moment, we took our game to different place. We were more together as a team, and we had like a really great momentum. And I think you were part of this. Like, you took your chance, the first chance, and then you prove it like for the whole season.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I definitely think that just communication-wise, having me back there, me and Andrea, as I said before, We have a really good connection.
Mm-hmm.
It's really clean, and that I feel like translates over to the other defenders.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like my communication has been the strongest part of my game this season. That has been different from past seasons because physically, I believe I was about the same level as I was in 2019.
Yeah.
I wish I was better, but genuinely, I was about the same level because of my injuries.
Yeah.
I never got a chance to like improve on what I was before.
Yeah.
So, I think the only thing that set me apart was
The communication.
the communication with my defense,
Hmm.
because I knew I had 4 great defenders, but I needed 1 great defense. You know.
Mm-hmm. No, it's interesting because I think many people don't understand this side of the game. You know, the communication.
The mental side of the game has become a lot larger for me. The fact that I always look at it as like playing chess nowadays.
Really.
Yeah, honestly, I love like. I know some people just think, oh, guy's open, make sure someone's on him. No, I'm saying like, oh, where is this guy? Is this guy going to be more likely to run in, cut in here? I should tell Andre to drop off then. So it's a little bit different. So you get to try and predict and move your people or your,
your
chess pieces,
soldiers,
to where they need to be.
Yeah. And in this season, you get another championship, the third one.
Third one in dramatic style. Very dramatic style.
Yeah, I think the final was something else. And how was this final? Like, if you can compare it to the other championships.
I mean, this was the first championship going into where this is a little bad to say, but in my heart of hearts, I felt a little bit more at ease about us winning than in the past championships. I've been a little bit more nervous on edge. This time, it wasn't a top-seeded team we were playing, and I think that definitely crept into the team. I think that was really noticeable. We did not come out there with the same intensity or pressure that we should have.
Yeah.
And it started from me all the way to the last guy on the bench,
Yeah.
Like,
it's so mental, because I feel...
Because 9 times out of 10 times, we're whooping that team, I believe, in 90 minutes.
Yeah, I think, like, sometimes it's so mental because sometimes you're playing against the best team and you're playing so well. And then you're playing against a really bad team or not like the best team. And then you're just playing shit because before the game, you're not ready mentally. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I felt in this game. That we were maybe too comfortable. Like most of the players, I don't know. But this is what I felt.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes these games that you think you're sure that you're going to win, and then they are scoring 1 goal, the second one, and you just want to die. Like, I think in the halftime, I just wanted like to I don't know. Like,
I didn't know if I wanted to punch something or
I didn't know what to do.
Scream or like I wasn't sure what to do. Honestly,
The same, and it was
because
like,
it was evident that everyone was trying. But we just weren't doing.
Yeah. I feel like everyone were like heavy, you know what I'm saying? It was different, but eventually we managed somehow to win this game.
I think that was a testament to our willpower as a team and to the seniors that we have on this team too.
Yeah.
I mean look at Sergio.
Yeah.
I mean, that man, I think him and Alvaro, Juki, like,
yeah,
a lot of the guys they willed us back into this game.
Yeah, I think Juki.
He was a big component that doesn't show up on the score sheet as often, but
but I think in the playoffs in this season, he was the key for our winnings because he was different in a different level.
Defensively, different level.
Yeah.
If you remember the whole COVID episode we had on our team, and against Georgian Court. With number 11, best player in the CACC.
Yeah.
He absolutely shut him down. I don't think that kid had a single shot on goal, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. No, it was a special game against Georgian Court. I think we were like 13 players because most of the team were sick.
Honestly, that was one of the most beautiful memories I have this season of that game. Yeah. I think Sergio Diaz, he scored the goal with 3, 4, 5 seconds left. one-on-one with the goalkeeper.
And,
Just
then,
him
and
alone.
then you run, right?
The
I
entire team,
remember.
the entire team runs down because Teddy is in the corner. He also had COVID, and he's in his car. And we run down. He's honking his horn. We're like going crazy, and it's just as a memory that I'm gonna keep with me forever. I absolutely love it. Yeah, because there was just pure bliss. And like everyone was a kid. Everyone was a kid in that moment on our team, for sure.
Wow. Well, it's a great season too, right?
Unbelievable. I have nothing but good memories, honestly, from here.
Yeah.
It was tough, but I proved to myself that I can overcome it, multiple times. So even going into this next season, I've proven to myself twice over that I can prove my way and win a championship.
What is your biggest lesson from these 3 years as a goalkeeper?
Biggest lesson? I'd be saying is keep your head down and keep grinding. It's just keep grinding because there's a lot of emotional hurt that happens as a goalkeeper. Like you go through a lot every time something scores. You feel alone when you're not playing. You're nervous to go in, but you're also nervous that you're not going to go in. There's no good feeling in between. But there's something about it that makes you want to keep going, and you just have to find that and just focus on that and that alone.
Yeah. I think goalkeeper is the hardest.
It's so mental. It's more mental than I ever thought, honestly.
Yeah, because if you're a player on the field, like a midfielder or like a winger, so you lose the ball, nobody pay attention, but if you're a goalkeeper and you're doing a mistake, what the fuck are you doing? Everyone on you, all eyes on you,
100%. My first game that I started here at Post, it was against Bloomfield. It was against Goldie Beacom. And in the first half, they scored a free kick and a breakaway on me. And the free kick, it was kind of awkward because the ball was right in the middle of the 18-yard box. Yeah. So it was a little awkward to place the wall on one side. So I sort of cheated a bit to see the ball. And the kid caught me on the near post. And coach, he, woo! In that locker room, 18-year-old me sitting there, he was just the entire, for about 2 or 3 minutes at halftime, just grilling into me. Everyone was like, okay, calm down. He gets it. I came back in. I mean, they scored one more goal because of a defensive mishap, but there was no coming back from that. So it was, like I said before, it's you just have to block it all out, focus on the one thing that keeps you going, and keep grinding on that.
So, okay, we talked about the soccer, and I heard some rumors that you're a TikTok star. Can you tell a little bit about it?
Yeah, so over quarantine, I got a little bored, and my brother was trying to convince me to hop on it. He says, I see a lot of college athletes always posting things on TikTok, I think you have a unique perspective as a goalkeeper, you should try and push it out. So started trying it out and caught on. People started to like it, started to build a little bit of a community, do some glove reviews, make little skits, and really just have a good time with it, keep me sane during this whole quarantine and lockdown.
Yeah. And what is what is your purpose with this TikTok account?
So for me, it's something to be relatable within the Goalkeeper Union. So that's something that we talk about a lot as goalkeepers, is this thing that we call the Goalkeeper Union, where, as you mentioned, being a goalkeeper is a very, very special position that you can't really be replicated or understood by anyone else on the field. So there's always special bonds connected by goalkeepers that not really, I feel like, other people would understand. So I always try and highlight those bonds and those feelings that only goalkeepers would really understand. And I feel like that creates a little bit of community and conversation often in the comments about it.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting because I think nobody will understand goalkeeper. I think just goalkeeper will understand the goalkeeper,
Honestly, even after we lose to teams or we beat teams, I have never badmouthed the other goalkeeper once. I'll badmouth players on the other team, but the goalkeeper, there's always some sort of mutual respect having there where it's sorry, it's tough. I understand. I've been there.
Yeah.
You've been there. Keep going. you know.
Interesting. And other stuff like about TikTok, like another maybe interesting facts or.
Something pretty cool that happened with it recently is I recently became the creative marketing director at Keeperstop.com.
Okay.
So I run their social media accounts and help speak to their other influencers and manage them and show them what to do and how to do it.
Okay.
So it's been interesting. It's been kind of a cool ride, and I'm trying something new, you know, with this whole social media platform.
Wow, I feel like TikTok and Instagram right now, it's like a whole world, you know.
It became something way bigger than I originally intended it, but it's fun. I'm
you
not gonna
enjoy
lie.
it?
You get to talk about and do something that you really love, which I never thought really possible. Because for me, like if I wanted to do soccer, the only way I could do soccer is be a pro soccer player, which. Not that I don't want to do or that I wasn't passionate about at one point, but it's not something that everyone can do, and it's not a feasible option really as a career. But now, this is ways that I can still do
Still
what
be
I
in
love.
the game.
Yeah, still be in the game and around something that I love. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful for me.
Wow, interesting. So we're almost done, and short question and short answers.
Yes, sir, I promise.
Okay. So who is your role model?
My role model. Oh yeah, he's gonna make fun of me for this. My dad and my brother. My dad, just for always being there and always pushing me to do the right thing, even though he's been a bit of a hard ass. I know it's always been with the right mindset. And then my brother, he's just the hardest worker I've ever met in my life. And I always think like, if I could just put like half the amount of effort in what he does, I'm gonna like be great. So that those are my final two.
What you will do the day after you are graduating?
The day after I'm graduating, I am hoping the day after, soon after that, I'll be hopping on a flight to Spain and Italy to visit my brothers that I've met over the past 3 years. You know.
Nice. To see a little bit different places. You know?
You gotta travel.
Yeah.
Spoil the royal oats.
And what is your biggest goal?
I got 2 major goals going and ending this year and starting next year. The first one is to graduate with honors distinction, and the second one is to be one of the captains next year at Post University.
Nice. And the last question, where you see yourself in 10 years?
In 10 years? I'll be...
This is a difficult
I'll
question.
be 31 years old. I'm hoping that the game is still a part of my life in some way. I hope that I'm starting a family in some way, and hope I have myself together and that I find a way to stay in contact with all my friends I made in college.
Sounds perfect.
That'd be the best life for me.
Yeah, sounds perfect. Look. So David, thank you for the interview.
Of course, thank you, man.
It was really, really interesting, and I think a lot of people can learn from your career, you know, college career, and with the struggles and with the good moments. And just for the people at home, if you like the episode and you think it can help to someone, share the episode, and until then, trust the process.
Trust the process.